What's up everyone, it's great to have you back on SFDC Ninja, and today we'll be tackling another interesting trigger scenario which was asked in interview. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. First, let's understand data model for this scenario. So today again we are going to play with two objects. First is account, which is the parent object, and second is case, which is the child object. And on account object, we have three custom fields of number type, which are number of new cases, number of working cases, and number of escalated cases. And on case object, we have a picklist field status which contains three values: new, working, and escalated. So this is the data model for today's scenario. Now let's talk about today's requirement. So today's requirement is we have to calculate number of related cases on account based on status field. Let's understand it in a simple way. Let's say we have an account record and it has three cases with different status: new, working, and escalated. Now we need to count the number of cases with each status and display that count on corresponding custom fields on account. Also, if a case is deleted or its parent account is updated, then the count should automatically update it to reflect the change. So this is the task that we are going to do today. Now let's see the approach that we are going to use to fulfill today's requirement. See, we need to change custom fields of account whenever case record is inserted, updated, deleted or undeleted. So the change is happening on case object. Therefore, a trigger will be on case object. Now our first step will be fetching parent account ID on every operation, which are insert, update, delete and undelete. After that, we will fetch all related case records and their status using account ID that we have fetched. And in next step, we will put record count according to their corresponding status in a map. And at last, we will use data present in this map to update custom fields on account. So that is all of theory part. It's time to code. So let's switch to VS Code and create our handler class. Let's name it trg handler. Let's create our method. Static void. Let's say trg method. Now it is obvious that change is happening on case object. Therefore, we will pass a list of case records as parameter in our method, like this. Case, let's say new list. And in this list, we will pass trigger.new from a trigger. So basically, this list is equal to trigger.new. Now apply a null check on this list. It is empty. Iterate over it. Let's say new case, new list. Now see, in update operation, there could be a situation in which user changes the parent account of a case record. So in that scenario, we'll be needing both new parent and old parent account ID. And to get that, we are going to use trigger.oldMap. So let's pass another parameter like this. ID case, let's say old map. And in this parameter, we will pass trigger.oldMap from a trigger. So again, this map is equal to trigger.oldMap. Now apply a null check on this map. If not equals to null. And let's create an instance of case using this map like this. Let's name it old case, old map dot get new case dot id. Basically, here we are using get method to fetch old version of case record. So this old case contains the old version of case records and this new case contains the new version of case records. Now our next step is to compare new parent account ID and old parent account ID of case record. So let's use if condition like this. If old case dot account ID not equals to new case dot account ID. And if this if condition will get true, then what we will do, we will add both new and old parent account ID in a set. So let's create a set to store parent account ID. Set ID, new set ID. Copy this set name, paste it here, and let's add account IDs. This is for old version of record. Dot add account ID, and this is for new version of records. So this if condition will run when a user change the parent account of case record. But we also need to store account ID when a user update the status of a case. So for that what we will do, we will use another condition like this. Else if old case dot status not equals to new case dot status. And inside this else if we will add new parent account IDs. For that, let's copy this line and paste it here. Now this block of code is to fetch account ID only for update operation. But we also need to store account ID for other operations also, like insert, delete and undelete. For that we will use else condition here, and we will copy this line again and paste it here. So we have parent account ID of case record in a set. Now we will use this set to fetch all related cases and other required data. So let's apply a null check on this set like this. If accid is empty. Now our next step is to store count of records in map according to their corresponding status. So let's create maps like this. Map ID integer. Let's say new case count map ID integer. So this map will be used to store count of cases with status new. Now copy this line and let's change working case count map. And this is for working. And at last for escalated. Now let's fetch account and related cases that we need. Like this. For count ACC, let's select ID, comma, copy this field name, paste it here, number of working cases and number of escalated cases. Select ID, comma, status from cases from account where ID in our set. Now what we will do, we will put account ID in key of maps that we have created like this. Copy our map name, paste it here, dot put acc dot id. And for value, what we will do, we will put 0 as initial value to represent initial count of cases for each account like this. Copy this line, paste it here and change the map name. And this is at last for escalated. Now the question is why we are initializing 0 as value. Let's consider an example to illustrate why we use 0 as initial value. Suppose we have an account record with ID 001 and we want to track the number of cases for that account. So initially the count of new cases, working cases and escalated cases for this account is 0 because no cases have been processed yet. So initially the maps looks like this. This is key and this is value. Next, we iterate through the cases associated with the account, and for each case, we check its status and update the corresponding count in map. Let's say we encountered 3 cases for all 3 status. So we increment the count for all cases for the account by 1. And after processing, our map will look like this. So by initializing the count with 0, we ensure that the initial value represents the starting point. And if we did not set the initial value to 0, then the count would be undefined or null. Now let's iterate over related cases like this. For case, let's say case obj acc.cases. And now in next step, we will increment the count according to status. So first apply a check for new like this. If case obj dot status equals to new, and if this condition will get true, I mean if the status is new, then put the account ID in map and update the count by 1. So copy our map name, paste it here, dot put acc.id, our map name, dot get acc.id plus 1. So this line will return the value of map, which is 0. Similarly, update counts for other status also, like this. Else if case obj.status equals to working, copy working case map, paste it here, dot put acc.id, map name dot get dot id plus 1. And at last for escalated cases. Case obj dot status escalated, copy map name, paste it here, dot put acc dot id, map name dot get acc dot id plus 1. So let's break down this for loop and its logic to understand better. Again, suppose we have an account with ID 001 and it has three cases. We start by iterating through each case in related case list of account. For each iteration, the case obj will represent one of the case associated with account. We check the status of current case, and if the value is new, then we increase the count of new case for the account in this map. And we follow same process for all values like working and escalated. After processing all cases, the counts in all maps will reflect the total number of cases in each category, new, working and escalated. So this is how it is working. Now it's time to put the count that we have in our map in custom fields of account. So for that, first apply check like this. If new case count map dot get acc dot id not equals to acc dot number of new cases, or working case count map dot get acc dot id not equals to acc dot number of working cases, or similarly for escalate map dot get acc dot id not equals to acc dot number of escalated cases. So in this if condition, we are checking that count of cases in map for the current account is not equal to the value stored in custom field of account object. The purpose of comparing these values is to determine if the count of new case has changed or not. If the counts are not equal, then it implies that there has been a change in the number of new cases. And now finally put values from map in corresponding custom field of account like this. acc dot number of new cases equals to, copy this line, paste it here, acc dot number of working cases equals to, copy this line and paste it here, and at last for escalated cases, paste it here, copy this line and paste it here. Now to bulkify our code, we will not update account inside for loop. So for that, let's create a map to update values like this, map id comma accounts to update new map id comma account. Copy this map name and put these values in this map. Dot put acc dot id comma acc, and finally update values. If accounts to update is not empty, and perform dml on its values. Dot values. Save it and deploy it to org. Okay, it is successfully deployed. So we have our handler class ready. Now let's create a trigger. Let's name it update case count trg. Now a trigger will be on case object with after events. Why case object? Because change is happening on case object. And why after event? Because we need to update its count on related object. And there is a thumb rule that if there is a requirement to update related object, then always go with after event. And in any other scenario, go with before event. So let's write case here with after insert, after update, after delete, and after undelete. Now first we will apply a check to run our handler class method for insert and undelete operation like this. If trigger dot is after and trigger dot is insert, or trigger dot is undelete. We are using both insert and undelete in same if condition because for both operation we will pass trigger dot new in first parameter and null in second like this. trg handler dot trg method. Let's pass trigger.new in first and null in second. Similarly, apply a check for update operation. But for update, we will pass trigger.new in first parameter and trigger.oldMap in second, like this. Else if trigger.is after and trigger.is update, copy this line, paste it here, and let's pass trigger.oldMap in second. And at last, apply a check for delete. And for delete, we will pass trigger.old in first parameter and null in second. Else if trigger.is after and trigger.is delete. Copy this line, paste it here, and let's pass trigger.old. Save it and deploy it to work. Okay, it is successfully deployed. So we have our code ready. It's time to see our code in action. So let's go to work, go to account. As of now, these fields do not contain any value. Now go to related cases. First for new, save and new. Second for working, and third for escalated. Refresh this page. So now there should be one present in each field. Yes, one is present, which is correct for insert operation. Now let's delete one case to test delete operation. Let's delete new case, refresh it, go to details. So now it is showing 0 because there is no record present for this status, which is also correct. Let's check for undelete. So for that, let's go to recycle bin and let's restore the case record that we have deleted. Click on restore, go to this account again and refresh it, go to details. So this field is again showing 1, which means undelete is also working. Now there is only one scenario left, which is changing the parent account of case. So let's go to any case and let's change its parent. Click on edit and let's change it to test account 2. Save it, refresh this page. Number of escalated cases is 0, which is correct. Go to that account again, go to details, and here one is present, which means trigger is working fine for every operation. That's it for today, guys, and I'll be back with more interesting trigger scenarios. Thank you.